Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Sunday Sweat Club. Before we get started, right away, I recommend that you go and grab a chair. Something about chair height, it doesn't need to exactly be a chair, but it should be around chair height. So when you put your foot on it, I'll demo quick because those of you who aren't joining live can pause the video to find something that's suitable. When you put your foot on it, I want you about here. So if this feels really unstable, then you can grab something that's a bit lower or something that's maybe even a bit higher. It's up to you. We're going to be doing our mobility work with a chair today, which is fun and wild. Okay. Once you have that chair, you are going to join me for today's practice. I'm really excited. I have a fairly fun plan. We'll see how it always shakes out. We never know, right? Let's start laying down, fully reclined. If you have a strap at home, I will give cues for a strap. If you don't have a strap, don't worry, you don't need a strap, so it's okay. Ah, my favorite part of any practice, laying down in the beginning. So a few options. Option one, Shavasana. Option two, which is what I'm going to take today, is my feet up and knees together in recovery pose. This can be comforting on the low back. And then close your eyes. We are all in different time zones, different moments. So check in with your physical body and just see how you're feeling today. Maybe you're feeling a little tired or sore. Or maybe you feel really strong, also fantastic. And then next, check in with your energetic body on the very base level of your actual energy, right? So, how much energy do you have this time of day where you're at? And then, whatever evaluation you've given in the physical body and the energetic body, just be like, yeah, that's fine. Our bodies change, our energy changes day by day, moment by moment. And we want to be the observer, right? Sitting back and just observing the experience of owning a body. Deep breath in and out. Close the mouth if it's open. And let's start that wonderful breathing pattern. So as you inhale, you'll probably count to a 5 or a 6, maybe even longer if your breath is slow and steady. And as you exhale, I would like you to match that count. If you know Ujjayi breath, that's where we slightly constrict the back of the throat, just a little bit to make it sound like an ocean wave in your head. What this does is it slows down the heart rate, it stimulates the nerve in the back of the throat, and mellows us out even more. So continue counting, and if you've lost track, just start over. Take one more full cycle of breath in and out. Continue these long, slow breaths and bring your awareness to the center of your chest, the space right over your heart that is rising just a tiny bit as you inhale and falling when you exhale. Our heart center is where we cultivate courage. I don't know why, but I think universally as humans, we can all agree that when we feel courageous, when we feel strong, that sense resonates right over the heart. Makes us feel big, stand tall, feel proud. And in today's class, we are cultivating courage. So just feel what the sensation of courage means for your body. If you are courageous, can you feel the heart start to rise up a little, the shoulders start to roll back a little? And now take 3 courageous breaths. Every inhale, seeing if you can expand the chest a little bit more. And every exhale, letting that first intention of courage start to radiate through the fingers, through the toes, through the crown of the head. Once you've taken 3 rounds, and only you can know when that is, if you are in Shavasana, you will draw your right knee up into your chest. If you're in recovery pose like me, you'll separate the knees, slide your left leg long, and then draw your right knee up into your chest. So first, try it with no hands. And we'll all meet here. If you're still breathing, don't worry, there's no rush. Those of us who already have the knee into the chest, push through the left heel, curl your left toes back towards your shin, and imagine your low back sticking down to the mat. So belly button towards spine, trying to push that core down and in. If you haven't joined us yet, come on in. Get powered up, hands pressed to the ground by your sides, and then inhale, reach the right foot up towards the ceiling. And then mirror your left foot with your right foot. So your left foot is super engaged, right? Make your toes curl back towards your shin on that right side. Try to straighten the leg as much as you can. And if it's not straightening yet, don't stress about it. Take an inhale. And on your exhale, draw your knee into your chest. All right, now lift the hands up, bring them behind the thigh, the calf, or maybe even towards the ankle. I'm not there yet. I'm not warmed up. So I'm going to bring my hands behind my thigh to start. And just start to pull your thigh down and in towards your chest until you feel a nice big stretch on the hamstring. Maybe if you feel you have a little bit more mobility, you could walk the hands up to the ankle and then release the head and shoulders down to the mat. But I'm going to stick here. Shoulders roll back and down to the mat and find that stretch. But as you're stretching, right, you're trying to pull that thigh in. I would like you to gently press the thigh or the ankle or the shin or the calf, whatever you've got, into the hands and pull the hands back. So it's a tug of war, engaging deep in the stretch for 3. And you can kind of go a little bit hard here if you want to. Remember, this is called the Sunday Sweat Club. So you decide how much you want to push. 2, 1. Breath in. Exhale, hands down by your sides, bring your knee into your chest. Inhale, reach the leg back up one more time. So first, try to see how close you can get your shin to your forehead without using your hands. Straighten the leg and then try to be like, I'm gonna put that shin on my forehead. It's fine if your shin is not on your forehead because that means you're human, right? Okay, once you've gone as far as you can, then reach the hands up. Grab up as high as you can. Great. So you should have your active and passive range, right? You had your active, now pull down and in, and this will be our passive range. Once you start to pull down and in, gently begin to push the leg wherever you have it into the hands into the leg. Notice how this changes the position once you start to push. For me, by pushing, it actually takes some of the stress and the pressure off of the hamstring lengthening. But what that means is as we lengthen, we're gaining strength. Push and hold. 3, 2. Great work, everyone. 1, breath in. Okay, now keep your leg exactly where it is. Stay and release the hands down by your sides. Oh, another breath in. And we'll switch it out by just scissoring the legs. Maybe you can do it at the same time. Great. Right leg long. Remember first, draw the left knee into the chest and then flex your your right toes back towards your shin. So the back of your leg really beginning to lengthen. Now, hands stay on the ground. Round one, inhale your left leg up to the sky and mirror your right foot with your left foot. So both legs are equally engaged, equally straight. One is just sticking up high, the other is sticking down to the ground. And a reminder, if your leg on the top isn't straight, that's okay. You're trying to get it as straight as you possibly can. Take a breath in. And then exhale, draw the knee into the chest. All right, now we'll go to the stretch. Inhale, legs come up, or the leg comes up. Then reach the hands lower first. So this is just the first round. I'm gonna put for the first round, I like to bring it behind the thigh, pull the shoulders down and back, and see just how far I can get the leg until it starts to stretch. And one of the things that I always like to remind people is if your leg is wiggling and shaking, that's just fine. That means you're growing, right? You're working in that range of motion. Now push your leg into your hand. Pull with the hands, push with the leg. Pull, push, ramp it up. This is the Sunday Sweat Club. So maybe you see how hard you can go within a safe range of motion, right? 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Inhale. And then keep the leg where it is. Exhale, lower the hands down by your sides. Take a breath in. And then bend the knee into the chest, no hands. All right, last round. Now that we've started to warm up that leg, let's inhale the leg high. And then using just the strength of your legs, see how close you can get your shin to your forehead. Be like, come on, leg, get closer. Almost will it there, like you have a superpower, trying to get it in close and close and close. Then once you're there, now just reach the hands up and see how high you can grab on the leg with the hands. Release the shoulders down to the ground and start to get even deeper than the stretch than last time. But once you find the deep stretch, the key is to start pushing into the hands. So push hands into leg, legs into hands. Yeah, maybe ramp up. My leg, you can't really see in the camera, but it's if I push, it starts to shake like crazy. So I'm just gonna rock with it and hold. 3, 2, 1. Okay, now pull the leg in, power up, take a breath in, and release the hands, but keep the foot exactly where it is. Oh, so hard. Inhale. Exhale, lower the left leg down to meet the right really slowly. Find yourself in Shavasana briefly, palms up. Breath in and out. In case you haven't noticed, we need long hamstrings for class today. All right, take an inhale. Draw both knees into your chest, maybe one at a time or two together. This time you can either option 1, bring the hands behind the thighs and start to rock and roll up and back on the spine. Option 2, maybe you're like, no, Madison, I'm gonna try this without the hands. And you can take no hands and rock and roll forward and back. And we're gonna take like 5 of them because I like to do this. And one day you might too. Let's do one more just for good measure. It might have been 6 or 7, but I don't really care. All right, come on up and find Navasana boat pose. Hands forward, chest up, and hold. Just briefly, maybe you reach the hands above the head. Maybe you straighten your legs because you're a psycho, but I'm not doing it. So 3, 2, 1. Okay, cross your legs and come to a seat. Nice. So now you're in your legs crossed seat. Inhale the hands high. And then exhale, let's take a side bend over to the left. So keep your right hand high, reach, and then walk the left fingertips over. But a lot of times what happens is we start to dip forward. Keep opening the heart and maybe even roll that right shoulder back. Remember, today is about courage, right? So push the chest forward, almost like you're in a bit of a back bend. 3, 2, great. 1, you'll inhale up and just switch it out to the opposite side. So left hand stays high and then walk those fingertips over. Walk, 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 walk. Notice if your left shoulder is dropping down, we're actually going to do the opposite and open the left shoulder forward. Pull the heart forward. Maybe a slight opening of the throat for 3, 2, 1. Inhale both hands up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Now you are going to find your way to tabletop pose without using your hands. There are a lot of ways to do this. You could be really weird about it. Maybe you reach the legs forward. Maybe you kick them to the side and then roll to your knees. Maybe you crisscross your legs and you roll over the crisscross legs and come. Hands onto the ground, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Let's close the eyes and move through some cat and cow. Option to add in any other movement. So if you would like to move side to side, barrel rolls, think about separating the scapula as much as you can when you're in cat pose, i.e. your scapula, those big wings on your back, slide down to the outside of your body. And when you come into cow, retract them and squeeze them together. Take a few more rounds, listening to your body. Great, and then come back to center. Curl your toes under, press into your hands, lift your knees up off the mat to hover, just to hover. So if you look at me, you can't even tell they're lifted because my pants are dangling, but they're lifted just ever so slightly. Inhale. Exhale, hold. All right, drop your knees down. Inhale, untuck the toes, cow pose. Exhale, round to cat. Inhale, back to center. Curl your toes under, lift your knees up, and this time lead with your butt, push up and back all the way into downward facing dog. Oh, my calves today. If you're anything like me, maybe try to add a little movement in the back of the legs, the calves. Pedaling out through the feet. Make your hands super wide, right? Just reach them as wide as you can and then push the fingers down into the mat. And I mean like your hands, literally the space between your fingers. How wide can you make that? All right, inhale, look forward. Exhale, walk your way to the top of the mat. Maybe knees bent, or maybe you see how long you can walk there with as much weight as possible in your hands, and then fold into Uttanasana. Head is heavy. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. 3 times because I like it. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Just finding a little rhythm. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, take your butt back, sweep your arms wide, press through a chair all the way to standing, look high, sweep the arms up, 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 and reach. Exhale, hands to heart center. Hands by your side, Tadasana. Breath in. And out. Inhale, sweep the hands up, look up. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to tabletop or plank pose. So for today, hold your tabletop, and then we're going to lower down. Typically in yoga, you'll see a lot of people do chaturangas, right? But the issue with chaturanga is your shoulders often roll forward. So first, roll your shoulders back, squeeze your scapula together, and then elbows come back, lower down really slow. 4, elbows keep moving back, chest forward. 3, 2, let's take it all the way to the ground. 1. Belly, untuck the toes. Inhale, lift up, baby cobra, no hands. Exhale, stay. Inhale, lift higher. How much higher can you lift up? Exhale, stay. You can do this. You can lift a little more. Inhale, lift and squeeze. Exhale, lower down. Hands by your sides, thumbs in line with your nipples. Curl your toes under. Push up either plank or tabletop. Then curl the toes under, up and back, downward facing dog. Right away, inhale your right leg high and then look down at your right leg. So peek under there. Roll your right thigh inwards towards the pelvis. So you should even see your toes move. That'll close the hip. I want the hip as close as possible. Then once it's there, inhale, try to lift the leg a little higher. Exhale, take your knee to your nose. Lean forward as far as you can, step through low lunge. Lower your back knee down, untuck the toe. Option to have padding under the back knee. Ideally, you're above the kneecap, not on the kneecap. So you might need to push that left leg back further, further, further to get nice and low into your low lunge. You could have blocks on either side here, or you might lift up and come into Anjaneyasana. Another option, because we've got so many, is you could bring your hands to the top of the thighs as you sink down into the pose. Now pull your right hip back, your left hip forward. Feel that big shift in the pelvis. So what are we doing? We're strengthening as we stretch. Once you get low and you sink, which looks great and it's really fun, but try to find that engagement of the right hip back, left hip forward, squeezing in and holding. 3. Maybe extend the hands up, reach the fingers. 2. 1. Inhale. Exhale, hands can come to the ground and then walk them back. So lead with your butt, walk the hands back, and we're coming to a bit of a stretch here. So just like we did on the ground, you might have your knees slightly bent. That's okay. Maybe your leg is straight. If this is really inaccessible to you, that's fine. That's why we have the chair here, and we're going to use this later. I'm going to give 2 different options for that. So just try to see how far you can get back, how straight you can get the leg. Try pushing back a little bit. And if it doesn't go far, don't worry about it. No stress. All right, inhale, come forward again. Sink down into Anjaneyasana, reach your hands high. Exhale, hands will come down, frame the foot. Curl your back toe under, lift your back knee up. Maybe you can round through the spine, try to pick the foot up gracefully and push up and back into downward facing dog. Right away, inhale your left, I kicked the stairs. Inhale your left leg high. Turn your thigh in, look at your thigh, and then try to lift the foot a little bit higher. Great, push into the hands, long spine. Sink your right heel down, hold. Inhale. Exhale, take your knee to your nose, lean as far as you can, and then try to swing and step through low lunge. If you've got to grab for the leg, that's fine. You can be like, hey, come on up here, buddy. Bring the back knee down, push your right knee backwards, and then first sink into this stretch. So you might be here with the blocks, which makes life a hell of a lot easier. You might be down here working on the stretch. Maybe you're ready to come up into Anjaneyasana. Hands could be on top of the thigh as you sink down. Option to bring the hands up high. Now, you'll pull left hip backwards, right hip forwards as you sink down. So this is not a passive stretch. We're not just kind of like surrendering in the hips and being like, oh, chill. Instead, as you do that shift of the hips, right? Left back, right forward, you pull down and in. So it's almost like you're trying to pull yourself into the stretch. If you haven't already, option to extend the arms to the ceiling. Hold. Nice. Reach to the spine. Inhale. Exhale, hands come down, frame the foot, and then you'll start to lead with the butt and push back into this nice little kind of half split stretch. Now, your knee might be bent a little bit. Wiggle through the leg and the hip. If this is really inaccessible to you, again, we don't stress about it, right? You might be here. That's okay. Just keep wiggling the hip. Pull back slightly. See where you can get in the stretch. This is just an opportunity to evaluate. If this feels comfortable for you and you're able to get the leg mostly straight, you might work from here later. If it doesn't, I'm going to give you the other option. We're going to try both together. All right, inhale, come forward. Anjaneyasana, reach your hands high. Exhale, sweep your hands down, frame your foot. Curl your back toe under, lift up, and back. Downward facing dog. Let's do this together. Inhale, forward plank pose or tabletop. Knees might be down, but remember, retract the scapula. Roll your shoulders back first and then lower with the elbows moving back. 3, 2, 1 to the ground. Inhale, let's take another baby cobra. Lift as high as you can. Hover the hands. Exhale, lower down. Curl your toes under. Shoulders back. Push yourself up, either plank or tabletop. If you're doing plank, your thighs lift first. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, travel to the top of the mat, however you like, and then fold into Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, butt back, arms wide. Push yourself through standing all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Hands by your side, Tadasana. And let's take the hands to the hips. So once you're there, we're going to do our first building of courage pose. So turn your toes out slightly. Hands are on the hips, shoulders back. Roll your right shoulder back, roll your left shoulder back. Notice how just in that, we've started to push the chest forward. You naturally might be in a little bit more of a back bend. Then push the chest up to the ceiling with the hands on the hips. Open the throat slightly and gaze somewhere forward with your eyes like slightly angry or tough. Like you're like, yeah, come at me. And you might think this is silly. You might laugh. But think about this courage building in the heart over the chest. Maybe put a smile on your face, a tough smile. 3, 2, shoulders still roll back. 1. Great. Feet together, hands by your side, Tadasana. So that's a power pose, man. That is one of our poses to help us build courage, build strength. You could do that anytime you have an interview. And don't worry, we're going to try it again. It's going to get bigger every time. Inhale, sweep up, look up. Exhale, bring your hands back to your hips. Shifting over to your right leg, lift your left knee up, 90-degree bend. We are moving to a warrior 2, but you know how I like to get there. First, externally rotate in the thigh. That means the knee stays in line with the hip. External rotation. Then start to sweep that knee out to the side. Keep the hips pointing forward. So start here. Widen. Yes. Keep widening. Widen a little bit more. If your leg gets tired or you fall over, don't worry about it. 3, 2, great. 1. Then from here, you're going to keep that open and start to transition as slowly as you can back to a big step into warrior 2. I'm obviously being dramatic about it. You don't have to be this dramatic, but you'll step down and back, find your warrior 2 pose, extend the arms nice and long. Bend into the front knee. Gaze off your front hand. Check back on your back foot. Ideally, it's parallel with the back of the mat or slightly turned in. Then check on your left arm. Make sure it's not like, bring it up. Right hand strong, left hand strong. Great. Gaze off your front hand. I would argue warrior 2 is also a power pose. Sink down into the legs and fiercely gaze off the middle finger of your right hand. Feel the strength in your arms, strengthen your legs as you hold. Maybe for bonus points, you try to squeeze the feet towards one another. 3, 2, you got this. Nice and strong. 1, keep your arms as they are. Inhale, straighten your front leg. Instead of Trikonasana, you're going to turn your toes in, your heels out. Switch to warrior 2 with the back of the mat. Spin around, sink down into the front knee. So now you're warrior 2 facing the other direction. Great. Arms are not going anywhere, right? They've stayed up this whole time. And if they haven't, just bring them back up. Engage, gaze off your left middle finger. Super tough stare when you're trying to intimidate someone, right? This is the courage building as we reach through the arms. Hold. Bonus points if you try to squeeze the feet in towards one another. 3, 2, 1. Great. Straighten the legs. Turn your toes in, your heels out. Arms haven't stopped yet, guys. They're still extended. I see you giving up on those arms. Still, push your butt back, fold forward, wide-legged forward fold. Now, your hands might come towards the ground and you stay here. Maybe they can reach the ground. Maybe you can bring your hands towards your ankles, pull yourself down and in, or walk the hands to the inside of the legs, pulling yourself in. Pro tip, rock the weight slightly to the toes. Then pull your belly button in more and see if you can get a little deeper on every exhale. Let your head and neck be super loosey-goosey and relaxed. One more breath in. And out. Inhale, lift up halfway. Bring your hands to your hips. You might have a micro bend in the knees here. Chest is ideally sort of parallel with the ground. Exhale. Inhale, lift up all the way. Turn your toes forward. Look at the top of your mat and try to take one big step. Feet together, hands by your sides, Tadasana. Great. Between sides, you're going to bring your hands to your hips. Turn your toes out slightly, heels in, roll your right shoulder back, roll your left shoulder back, push your chest forward, gaze forward, maybe a tough gaze. Now, I would like you to think about in this round of our power pose, and we are literally generating that courage. It's over the heart center. If there's anything in your life that needs a little bit of courage right now, what is it? We're going to start to send it there. Now that you're already feeling pretty strong in your body, feeling that intention, hold and squeeze the scapula together. 3, 2, you look tough, so you should feel tough. 1, breath in. Exhale, back to center, hands by your sides, Tadasana, feeling stronger than ever. Reach your right leg up, 90-degree bend. Hands can come to the hips, externally rotate the thigh, just like we did before, knee stays in line with the hip. Now widen it out to the side and hold here. Naturally, what'll happen, if you watch me, the external rotation disappears. That's okay, that's normal, that's what bodies do. But try to stay there, opening the hip. You should feel everything in the inner groin firing as you balance. 3, 2, 1. All right, now start to lean forward and you're going to take one big step, huge step, as slowly as you can go to the back of the mat and come to a Trikonasana triangle pose. So knees bent slightly, then straighten it. Hands are still on the hips. Bump your right hip backwards like doop. Now reach your left hand forwards. Hand stays, reach, 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 and extend. How far can you get? And then you'll bring the hands somewhere on the inside of that leg. So if you're here, great. If you're here, great. You might even grab for the toes. But what can tend to happen in triangle is we collapse. So open the shoulder, roll your right hip back, try to push your feet away from one another. If you do have the big toe, you're going to pull the hand into the toe into the hand, and lift through the side body. So we're not collapsing, and really this arm isn't actually doing that much. It's just going to kind of stick and hang, but it's not supporting us. Maybe if you're in your pose, you feel good, you might reach the right hand high and hold. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Bend in your front knee slightly. Inhale, lift up, a brief warrior 2, but then you're going to just transition. Now look at my arms. Arms are up. Transition to the other side, Trikonasana. So just like we did, I want you to try not to let the arm come down. First, bump the hip back. Boop. Now extend, 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 extend as far as you can go, and then bring the hand somewhere inside the leg, and automatically the left hand will be high. Now, notice if you're collapsing or rounding forward, right? We want to open and lift if you have the toe, if you have anywhere here. The side body should be tug-of-warring to get away from the leg in order to keep reaching and extending. Roll your left hip back in space more. Push your feet away from one another and hold. 3, breathe deep. 2, 1. Okay. Gentle bend in the knee. Inhale, lift up. Arms to a T. Toes in, heels out. Lean forward one more time. Come down, take a new variation. Maybe hands come to the ankles. Hands might come to the hips. Rock your weight towards your toes. Belly button to the spine. Head and neck are very relaxed. One more breath in. And out. All right, slide the hands up to the hips, bend in the knees gently. Inhale, lift up halfway. Keep pushing your butt back. Exhale, stay. Inhale, lift up all the way. Then turn your toes to the front of the mat. Look. Wait, did we do both sides? Can someone wave? Did we only do one side or did we do both sides? We did both sides. I'm going to say yes, we did. I think we did. Step to the top of the mat. If we didn't, be like, okay. Hands by your sides, Tadasana. Everyone's like, Madison, you're crazy. Okay. Now, hands to the hips. Toes out, heels in. Power pose. One more time. Roll the shoulders back. This time, take the stance even wider. Hands are firm on the hips. Fingertips wrap. Right shoulder back, left shoulder back, chest forward. Find your intention. Where are you sending courage? At this point, We're taking the heat from the body, right? The heat that you've created, the breath, and sending it forward and out. You are radiating courage right now as you stand here. Inhale. Make your tough pace. I can't see it. Exhale. Again, inhale. Exhale. Once more. Big breath in. Courageous breath. And exhale. Relax, release, let it go. Can you feel it? I feel like you can feel it. All right, step your feet together, hands by your sides, Tadasana. We're gonna use the chair in a second, I promise. I would never let you not, like, this is gonna be the best part of class, I promise. Inhale, sweep up, look up. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant your hands. Let's do one of these. Option, knees up, knees down, lower down slow. 4, elbows back. 3, 2, shoulder heads roll back as you lower. 1, chest to the ground. Inhale, back bend of your choice. Maybe a baby cobra. I just love these because it makes me engaged, right? Exhale, lower down when you're done. Curl the toes under, lift the knees up. Push yourself up to either plank or tabletop. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward. Travel to the top of the mat and fold into Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, butt back, arms wide. Push through a chair pose all the way to standing, look high. Exhale, hands to heart center. Hands by your sides, Tadasana. Now, this is the time where you are going to grab for your chair, your level, something that is high up. You might even want to do something like I would have here, where my hand can be on a table. So you have a little bit of balance on the side. If not, your hand might be on the chair or on your hips. Let's take the right leg up onto this object. So what we are doing is I am working on lengthening and strengthening through the hamstring. This is going to be key in our peak pose that we're working in a little bit. So what you will do first, hands can, if you don't have anything to grab onto, they could be on the hips, but make sure your right hip is pulling back. Now drive your heel down into the chair, like you're trying to push down through, punch a hole in it. Push, 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 and you should feel, hopefully, everything on the underside of your leg and your glutes start to fire up, right? Your butt cheek is really working. Push harder, push harder, push harder. 3. A little bit more. 2. 1. Now here's the fun part. You are going to lift the leg up off of the chair and hold. Squeeze. How high can you get it? 3. Keep lifting. 2. Great work. 1, push the heel back into the chair, drive down. Slight bend in the knee, by the way. If your knee is locked out, you won't get the same engagement. So baby bend in the knee so you can find the engagement. And for me, because I have a lot of range, I like to lean forward and close the angle. There's an option to do that as well. Make it more challenging by closing the angle, leaning the chest forward. You will see it's harder when it's time to push down a little harder. Take a breath in. If you close the angle, try to keep it where it is as you lift. Oh man. 3, 2, 1. Release. Great. Come on out. Let's switch out the legs. Left leg down to the ground. Awesome. So, or get onto the chair. This isn't the ground, this is the chair. Push your heel into the chair. Start to drive. Remember, micro bend in the knee. Maybe for the first round, you're upright, right? Kind of exploring. Push down and ramp up. So it's not like boink, boink, boink. It's more like, right? We're accelerating. Our car is accelerating. That's the first sound effect I've made of that kind in class, I think. Keep going, a little bit harder, a little harder. 3, 2, and now you're going to do the exact opposite. 1, try to lift the foot up off of the chair. Oh my gosh, wiggle, wobble, hold and lift. 3, 2, great. 1, heel comes down, push down and in, little bend in the knee. So again, you're driving up, like the train is engaging. It's going faster and faster and faster as you push harder, harder, harder. Now, if you've closed the angle like I did, the goal will be to lift the leg, not yet, in a second, and try to do it without changing the shape of your torso. So let's push and hold. 3. You're at your max effort now. You should be going as hard as you can. 2 and 1. Now stretch and try to lift the leg. 3, hold. Way harder when I tried to not change the angle. 2. 1. Heel comes down. All right, both feet together. Everyone take a break. I'm going to offer one more option. So if you like this version, you're just going to do one more round on each side. I'm going to cue you through it. If you would like to try a different version, the other version would be to come down to the ground. Remember when we were in Anjaneyasana, you can start with the right leg forward, then you'll curl this foot back. If you have a large range of motion, you will drive your heel down into the mat, just like this. Push, 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 and then when I tell you to lift, you'll try to round and maybe lift the heel up off the ground for like 3 seconds. That's so much harder. Yeah, so that's like, that's max effort. Palms planted on the ground, trying to lift the leg. If you want to go a little bit lighter, you could be here, but ideally, I don't care about the leg lifting off very far. You should barely be able to lift legs. So pick your poison. I'll just stay down here. It seems like a lot of work to get up. Since we already demoed the other one, you know how to do it. So right foot into the chair, or you're coming with me. No matter what, we're all driving the leg into the ground. Your choo-choo train, chugging down the tracks, ramping up, ramping up, ramping up. You love your hamstrings, right? Your legs are awesome. Slight bend to the knee and hold, push the hands into the mat. If you're with me, 3, 2, and now let's all try to lift the foot up. Try and lift, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And if it's not lifting, great, because you know what that means? It means you're working in an area you cannot control yet, but we're going to be able to control it. You're almost there. And release. Tough, right? All right. If you're on the mat, let's just switch out the legs. If you're on the chair, same concept. Okay, butt back, hands come down. Now, if you're in this and your foot is, if you're like here and you're doing this, this is not what our goal is, right? You should barely, if at all, be able to lift the foot. Let's start driving. Wherever you are, drive the heel down. Push, push, push. This is where that courage comes in, right? Maybe you're tough face. Maybe you're really getting into it. Grinding, hold, 3, 2, and now we're going to do the opposite. 1, flex and try to lift the foot. Try and lift it, try and lift it, try and lift it. If you get a cramp in your leg, by the way, that's totally fine and normal. That means you're awesome. You get extra bonus points for cramping. Yep, I see it happening. 3, try and lift, 2, and 1. Great, right? How much fun. Okay. If you had the chair, put your chair back. We're all going to come standing at the top of the mat. We are making our way towards our peak pose, which you'll laugh about, but remember, you're being courageous, right? So there's no prejudgments to anything that you're about to do. Inhale, sweep the hands up, look up. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back. One more of these push-up variations. So either knees up or knees down, lower down slow. Inhale, back bend of your choice. And exhale, you'll lower. Curl the toes under. And all together, we'll push up to our knees and come back to broken toe pose. Just briefly, take a seat on your heels. So I'm going to have you, if you can't do broken toe pose, you might want to stand here and just hang out and wait. If you can do broken toe pose, I'd like you to try to do this pose all through the tutorial that I'm about to do. So remember courage. Our peak pose for today is the splits. And so if you've ever wanted to try it, today is the day we're trying it. Now, most of us, you're going to move into this version of half splits. If you prefer the chair, the same concept that you would do is you would put the chair here and then lean forward and find the half splits. That's how we start, right? So either your leg is up on the chair, you're stretching deep, or you're coming here. If you can get down in this position, I encourage you to try it. Now, one of the things that happens is people, you should still be in broken toe pose. People just kind of like hope to shove themselves into it. This might sound crazy, but what I like to do is push my opposite knee back, 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 back. And now I'm like, oh my God, I'm never going to make it there, right? But instead of shoving, I like to do a little wiggle. I'm going to wiggle, my body's going to forget, and watch, I'm leaning my chest towards my thigh. So instead of being upright, first I'm going to lean forward, wiggle into it, wiggle a little bit more, and I just basically trick my body into coming into the full splits. And then once I'm there, I can lift the chest up. This is insane. I haven't done this in months, and yet it's still here because I wiggled. So I would like you to try to wiggle yourself to some degree into the splits. If you are on your chair, you are going to wiggle yourself from here, start wiggling down and in, and literally like Who's watching? Nobody. You can be hilarious about it. Shake your butt side to side and see if you can get a bigger, deeper stretch as you bring the chest down to the leg. If you want it even higher, you can bring your foot up onto a table and try and work from there. What we need for splits is both hip flexion and hip extension, one leg versus the other. So now, once you're, and Ruth, I see you're almost there. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle your butt side to side. Try to lean the chest as far forward as you can over the leg as you sink down. And then you're just gonna laugh and breathe. We're being courageous. If you get stuck down there, it was really nice knowing you. I mean, have fun. Au revoir. When you are ready and you have done, let's say, at least 3 to 5 breaths in whatever version of the pose, and you might be up here. That's okay, because you know what? We've all got to start somewhere. And half splits are basically like a show off pose anyway. So do you really care if you do it or not? Not really, right? You can come out. And when you're ready, just take a seat on your heels before you transition to the other side. Give yourself a few breaths. And I like to imagine when you move from one side to the other, wiping the slate clean, right? New opportunity, newness happen. And then you can move when you're ready onto the opposite side. So same concept. You get to pick where you work, either on the chair or on the ground. But as I do this, my first thing is bumping my back knee back. How far can I get my back knee back? And then eventually I might start to straighten my front leg. Wiggling side to side, try to bring the chest towards the thigh. So rather than starting up, bring the chest down. It's almost like you're creeping in. I'm surprising it. It has no idea. Eventually, you'll probably untuck the back toe. I've seen people do it with their toe tucked, and if that floats your boat, let it float. See where you can get. And then just wiggle a little bit. Have fun with it. Yoga doesn't need to be a serious thing. In fact, I truly believe yoga shouldn't be a serious thing. We're making weird shapes with our bodies, right, while we breathe. Try to hold for about 5 breaths in whatever you've chosen. Think about stretching the back of the leg. Engaging as you go down and in. Nice work, everybody. When you've had enough, and only you can know when you've had enough, you can come back out of the pose and take a seat on your heels or in Sukhasana, legs crossed. Just give yourself a little break. So find a seat that's comfortable for you. It can be any seat. It could even be in the chair. Works for me. And then just like we did standing, roll your right shoulder back, your left shoulder back. Push your heart up to the sky and make this a courageous seat. You are sitting with confidence. You are sitting in power. So often we walk with our shoulders slumped forward, not wanting to take up space, maybe not wanting people to notice us, but instead imagine if we led with the chest. Imagine if we led with our courage. If we walked into a room in this shape, how would you feel to walk around with your chest out? Maybe you'd be like, that'd be embarrassing. I wouldn't want people to notice me. Or maybe you might feel a little bit more in control. A little bit more of this I can do it attitude. Push the chest forward for 3 more breaths. Maybe you even open the throat slightly. Eyes could gently open if they're closed, making that tough face, that confident face, maybe even just a shining, happy face. For 3, 2, and 1. Inhale. Exhale. All right, you will make your way down to your back. Option 1, you could try to do this whole thing without your hands. Extend the legs forward, tuck and round through the pelvis and a Pilates roll down. Maybe you're like, nope, not doing it, just like me, and I'm just gonna lay down. Once you are there, Let's move into a happy baby. So you can draw your knees up, grab for the outsides of your feet, and reach the feet towards the sky. If you would like to play with straightening one leg and then the other, today is definitely the day for that. Your hamstrings should be, back of the legs should be nice and warmed up. And then make your way back to center. Let's take two knees together today. Bring your arms out to a T. So knees together, 90-degree bend, arms out to a T, and then kick those knees over to the left side. Easy twist over to the left, gaze to the right if you can. If you prefer, you're welcome to do a one-legged twist or any other twisting variations. Just want to get a little bit twisty today before we're done. Maybe when you were a kid, your parents told you to be brave. Not sure if that's something you heard, but perhaps you'd been told by your parents, someone else, that you should be brave. But I think that that intention of be brave is a little bit wrong. It's a little bit off the mark. When you're ready, transition to center and move over onto the opposite side. Same variation. Instead of telling people to be brave, I think it's better to say things like find your bravery. It's already there. It already lives in you. You don't need to be it because you are it. Sometimes we just have a little bit harder of a time finding it. Be a little sneaky, disappear in times of need. But the beauty is that it is always there. You can always find your courage, your bravery, because it lives in you. Next inhale, take it back to center. Roll side to side on the low back. Let's bring the hands to the knees and just make gentle circles with the hands, kind of directing the knees into a circle in one direction, massaging the low back. And then let's take those knees in the other direction. And back to center. Inhale, lift your head up, lift your shoulders up, wrap your arms around your shins. Give yourself a big squeeze and a big hug. Feel the strength of your body. Be like, yes, this awesome body. No body is perfect, but this is my body and it is mine. And it's doing a great job, right? Breath in. Exhale, release, extend into Shavasana. Feet wide, palms face up. Wiggle the toes to make sure that they're falling out to the side. So kind of wiggle the legs. You're not holding on to the glutes or the hips. Toes fall out. And then gently lift up your upper back and tuck your shoulder blades down and under. This little shift, this one small shift, right? Slight lift of the upper back, shoulder blades down and under will give you bravery in the chest. Just a little bit of a shimmy as you shimmy them down and in. Close those eyes. Deep inhale. Exhale. Shavasana. If you would like to stay in Shavasana, please just shut me off and go back to the Shavasana. Enjoy. But if you are ready to move out of your practice, you can begin with small movements. Like you're waking up for the first time today. Over time, allow those movements to grow larger. Maybe you rock your head side to side, open your mouth, wiggle your jaw, wrinkle your nose. And you can reach the hands above the head, take a stretch left and right. Draw one knee towards the chest and the other. Roll over onto your favorite side. And then you can pass through fetal pose, posture of rebirth and renewal, and come up into a comfortable seat. Eyes closed, facing any direction. You can bring the hands together at heart center or two hands over the heart, whatever feels better for you and your body. As you inhale, roll the shoulders up to the ears. Exhale, slide them down your back. Let's do that again, releasing any tension. Inhale, shoulders up. Exhale, down and back. Stay where you are. Take a breath in, lengthen your spine. And then exhale, bow your chin in gratitude to seal your practice. Inhale. Exhale. Next inhale would lift your head up. Slowly open your eyes, come back to planet Earth. Thank you all. Fantastic work today. That was quite a bit of mobility work. You did an amazing job. Hopefully you'll feel me in your hamstrings tomorrow a little bit. As always, if you have any questions, please reach out to me. I love to talk about yoga. We can chat, and I will see you next week for the Sunday Sweat Club. Talk soon. Bye.